to develop the artist's potential, I guess, is a subtle and challenging lifetime's work. Every person learns where their strengths and weaknesses are themselves and what they have to offer to other people. I find it's really helpful to get to know artists musically and personally before we even start recording the album, so that I spend a lot of time working on pre-production with the artist, experimenting with different ways of working with their songs for the album, listening to other music, finding out what kind of music the artist loves, getting to know their record collection a little bit, and that way perhaps helping the artist, as I said before, realise their vision, and with work on sounds and arrangement, helping to strengthen and make more effective the songs that the artists are working on for the album that they're currently doing. Well, for a band, it's interesting to find a producer, because it's a challenge. Obviously, I think all of us have got favourite records, and sometimes we look on our favourite records and we see the producer name coming up again and again. And so, I don't know, some of the great producers like Flood, for instance, you might see Flood on many different records that you love, and then you think, well, Flood would be perfect for me because he's made such great records. And that can work really, really well, because you get a feel for what the producer might bring. But it's difficult for an artist because it's a new person on the team, and especially if they've not got much experience working with a producer, they might be a bit nervous about it as well. But the producer is someone who cares very much about the record, but is outside the band, so they have a different perspective. But they care very much, and I think the artist has to trust their feeling. It's a lot about feelings, making music and making art, isn't it? So they have to do meetings with people and trust their feeling that they found someone who can help them make the record they want to make. Well, they just send me an email. It's that simple, really. I mean, I'm easy. I'm available everywhere on social networks and with my website and on email, and my management details are on the website. And so sometimes artists come to me, as I said, with Flood. They know some of the work that I've done, and they think I might be the right person. So then we might have a cup of tea and a meeting and a chat, and of course, they would play me their music, and we would talk about that, and then we would see if we were a good match, and if we're a good match, if we've both got the time, and if we've both got the time, then and we feel we're a good match, then we try and make it happen. Good songs are still really important, obviously, and a good song with a great interpretation is still a really important thing, and that's 1,000 years old, that idea probably, and is still, in the end, what touches us. A clever story, a good lyric, a wonderful melody with a offset by a beautiful set of harmonies underneath it. That is stayed the same. But technology has obviously changed a lot. But for me, none of it's about technology. It's about people and ideas. So everyone uses the new technology as best they can. But music making is very led by emotions and ideas. So, of course, music's got a lot louder in the last 30 years, and I think that's terrible. It's getting louder and louder and louder, and we're selling less and less and less records, and the response seems to be to try and make it even louder and louder. And to me, that's not a good use of digital technology. But everything's, as we know, everything's changed. The whole way that artists can reach the public has completely revolutionised through being able to web serve your own tunes anywhere and have people anywhere in the world access them really quickly. Communication's obviously a lot faster, so the vibe can go round. But in some ways, it's really confusing because there's so much music available. It can be hard to know where to turn. One of the things that I used to love about buying a vinyl was on a lot of albums, there was a big listing on the back about everyone who'd made the album. And a lot of the way I used to find out about new music was reading the people's names on the album and then going to the record shop and saying, oh, look, he played on, I like that album. I like, for instance, Heroes by David Bowie. Oh, I love that album. Who's playing on it? Oh, Brian Eno's on it. Oh, I see Brian Eno's. And then so on. And obviously with a lot of digital download, of course, there's no data. It's just the music, which I think is difficult. And to me, the record shops still have a real important role to play. I love Rough Trade Records in London. There's one in the east and one in the west. Because when I go there, I can get turned on to a lot of I can get the people there who know me a little bit to recommend music that I might like to listen to. Which, I heard about Department of Eagles there, for instance, before I mixed the Grizzly Bear record. One of the guys said, oh, you need to check out this Department of Eagles thing. And I never would have picked up on them otherwise. So then, I might have done, but that was the first contact I had to Department of Eagles. So the record shop still has a real role to play, I think, even though, websites and blogs and Spotify and iTunes and everything it means all the music instantly available. I don't know if there's a sense in which if you have to struggle to find something or struggle to do something, it has more value. And the fact that you don't have to struggle so much now to get new music means that perhaps the music itself has less value for people. I find limitation. I think when we're limited and we have to struggle against limitations, then we do our best work. The same if we live in a little village, then we have to, save up and wait till the weekend and go into the town where the record shop is and take our money in there and buy the record. We find something that personally perhaps means more to us than logging onto iTunes and pressing buy and having it immediately. So we get a lot of immediate gratification now in terms of buying stuff. I don't think that's healthy. The trouble with the question is that I'm a music fan, so there are some artists who I really love what they do, but they do it so well that I look at it and I think, well, I just wouldn't be fit. Why would they need me? I talked before about how it's important that I feel I can contribute something when I make a record with someone. So for me to look through my idols, the bands where I'm a real fan, they all do it so well anyway. I don't feel, why would I want to work with them? They do it fantastically anyway. So I have a different angle. I enjoy lots of different kinds of music, and I try to make the very best that I can with the artists that I work with.